Ask the Commissioner is a program that gives the policymakers a platform to come and give a scorecard of different things that they have done or they are still doing under the Soludo administration. And so they on Ask the Commissioner, we focus the spotlight on the Ministry of Economic Planning. Today we want to look at the Solution Lens as a one-stop platform for inquiries on Soludo's government. And of course, the special guest in the studio that we have that will be joining us, if all things being equal, it's the Commissioner for Budgets and Economic Partners. Just like I said when I was doing a promo of the program earlier in the day, that the Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget Partners will be here today, and of course our very own Commissioner for Information will be here as well. And I would like to welcome the Honorable Commissioner for Information, High Chief Dr. Lomefo, to Ask the Commissioner today. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you for hosting us once more. Okay. And today we are, like you said, going to discuss something quite fundamental. No.
And just like I said, we're still expecting the Commissioner, but as we're expecting the Commissioner, someone is standing in for her, and that is Ogochukwu Oji. She's the SSA to the Governor on Budgets and Economic Planning. Ogochukwu, welcome to ABS. Welcome to Ask the Commissioner.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Okay. All right. Just before we kickstart the conversation, we hear from Ogochukwu as well. We'd like to hear from the Commissioner for Information. We'd like him to give us a brief rundown or a brief background about the solution list that we want to talk about today. Commissioner, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Solution Lens, the technical expertise is here, represented in Ms. Oji here. She should be able to give you everything, but I just want to give an overview. Government may be doing so much without the people knowing what the government is doing. That in itself is a problem. It's a big challenge. So the idea is to establish a platform where who is truly interested in understanding what is going on in government of the Soludo administration will be able to access whatever information, give feedbacks, and also ask questions and receive prompt answers. In other words, Solution Lens is such platform where everything the government has done and even intends to do can be accessed. It's a sort of a visual archival, where much, in fact, everything you need and whatever you cannot find there, you can raise the interest, and the ministry, department, and the agency will respond as soon as possible. This is very fundamental because we have received many inquiries in that direction. And rather than keep responding to isolated and individual questions, it's better that people have where they can go to. And this will serve especially the Anambra and others who are not in Nigeria, Nigerians in diaspora, and then institutions, organizations. Now they have a place, and it's a platform that was put together by the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, Ministry of Information, and the ICT agency of the state. The expert will tell us more and take questions to clarify areas you may find gray. And if I answer all the questions, if we don't finish today, we'll continue next week.
Okay, all right. Just like I spotlighted earlier, that today we delve into a look at the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget Partners, and they recently launched a Solution Lens. And if everybody's hearing you, we're thinking, okay, Solution Lens. Are you talking about cameras? And you come a camera or camera ka aichore ba? Well, she's going to tell us if it's just the cameras or is it the lens of the camera that you know, the one you're seeing right now in the studio for the people here, or is there something more to solution lens? But well, Ogochukwu Oji is here to educate us on everything there is to know. So let's begin the conversation. Solution lens. Is it a normal camera lens? Or which other lens? Are there other lens? Which other lens are we talking about? So when you talk about solution lens, what are you talking about?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. And let me mention that I'm standing in for the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, who is unavoidably absent. So solution lens, simply put, is a promise made and a promise kept by Governor Soludo to Anambra. When Governor Soludo came into power, he promised Anambra that he was going to run an inclusive, open and transparent government that is in line with the international best practices. And Solution Lens is that citizens engagement platform that allows citizens to follow through government project initiatives, programs, right from inception through implementation and even monitoring. He empowered someone maybe far in Anambra to be able to give feedback. This road that is here is not well built, is not doing well, and is real time. They can upload it on that platform and everybody sees it and it can be traced. And it just reroutes every inquiry to the relevant MDA that needs to give feedback on that. So over the years, the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning during the budget processes actually also engaged non-state actors, both the market women, the people with disabilities, and all on the community leaders. During that process, during the bilateral discussions, they come to a table, they interrogate each project that MDAs bring to the table. They ask questions on how do this actually affect Anambra, how does this support us? And there are other, even the community charter of demand. But the solution lens, like the Commissioner for Information mentioned, is broader. It allows both Anambra in diaspora to also make input on the projects and programs that are ongoing in the state. It gives them the ability to dialogue, make input, co-create with the government, and also it also gives them the opportunity to make suggestions for the government and make inquiries. Even the Freedom of Information Act is embedded in this platform, so you can make requests for any government records that you require right there, and it will at the comfort of your room or your office, wherever you are, you can just make that request and it gets to you. So Solution Lens is just a transparency, accountability and citizens engagement platform. It's just citizens engagement platform taking a notch further. Thank you.
Well, from what you're saying, and I believe somebody listening, the person will be wondering, okay, the solution lens, accountability, holding people accountable, saying what the government is doing, it's all well and good. But someone will be wondering, okay, so what's the relationship between solution lens and budgets and economic planning? I think that's a big question that will come to mind when I'm listening to you.
Yes,
so what's the relationship?
That's a wonderful question. Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning is the coordinating ministry saddled with the responsibility of planning, state planning, budgeting, and partnership coordination. So Solution Lens gives that mechanism for citizens to give feedback on their suggestions, their inquiries, their needs. So Ministry of Economic Planning, on the other hand, will use those needs from the ministry to plan better, to budget better. So this aligns the government priorities and the needs of Anambra. So you see the linkage now. The Anambra make inputs into the solution lens. Then the ministry plans with those inputs, and everyone is happy. Anambra is happy, which is
okay. So now the input you're talking about, is this something that is exclusive to the Economic and Budget Planning Ministry, or does it cut across every sphere?
Of course, it cuts across. That's why I said the coordinating ministry. So once they submit it, you route it through to the ministry, to the MDA that it aligns with.
In other words, you're saying when you get the information, you get to pass it across.
Of course.
Okay. All right. All right. So basically, you stated the objectives and you stated the benefits, but I would also like to know, beyond this platform here that we are on Ask the Commissioner, because basically this is an awareness creating platform. Now, what other platforms or mechanisms are you using to make sure that citizens in Anambra, mandino chani imo obodo, ndị na-ebe niile, ma ndị nọ na diaspora dịka ị na-ekwu, na ha na-ama maka this solution lens ị na-ekwu okwu?
Okay, like
No,
you
break
mentioned,
it down, Igbo and...
okay, like you mentioned, this is part of it. This platform is actually part of it. Then we have, even before the launch, before we launched, we had stakeholder engagement, we had community engagement. Then again, we have radio jingles ongoing because we have the platform, but we want Anambra to use the platform. We need them to own this platform because it's just a blank check by Governor Soludo for them to tell the government what they really need. So we do radio jingles, we do social media ads, we have lots of town hall meetings planned through the week that we are going to, but we've started already, and this is one of them.
Okay, all right, so let's move away from you for a little bit, just a little bit. Kaibebe Commissioner for Information, no, because imana dika mbobido no na akawa ihe dị iche iche boko wacha maka solution lens. And in my mind, I was just saying until Obe explained the relationship solution lens in way with the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget Partners. Because as a journalist, as a media person, as she was talking, I was like, okay, is this not more in the purview of the Ministry of Information? I was thinking until she explained. So, as a Commissioner for Information, head of the Ministry of Information, how are you collaborating with this Ministry of Economic Planning? Because this sounds more like citizen engagement, accountability, holding the government accountable, stating if you see something, you say something. So, what is the input of the Ministry of Information with regards to this solution lens?
It's a joint project, like I said before. The Ministry of Economic Planning, Ministry of Information, and the ICT agency. The three of them launched this platform. And yes, the Budget Ministry is the anchor point, and but it does not in any way diminish the partnership.
Between
the synergy is there, and we are working together. And the cooperation, part of it is what is being executed here. The Ministry of Information still maintains it's a standalone website, the www.solutiongovernment.nj. And that generally reports what is going on in the state. The solution lens is substantially different because here, the expectation is that Anambra should use the platform to make inputs. In open governance, which Professor Soludo promotes, feedback is so fundamental, but it should go even beyond the feedback. Because feedback here means hearing from the people how they feel about what you are doing. But in this case, the governor is looking forward to Anambra bringing forward suggestions on what should be done. And then where they hold the expertise, they engage with the ministry, department, and agency in executing the suggestions that they have brought. In that case, they come in as consultants because they hold maybe deep knowledge in the information and this execution. Government, in other words, provides the platform for such execution. But those who hold the expertise don't have to be members of government. That is where consultants come in. So this platform is for such engagement, citizen engagement, where where people who have deep knowledge about aspects of governance, deliverables, dividends of democracy, how they can be better and more cost-effective pursued, can come in with ideas. The ideas they bring in don't have to be full and elaborate, just hint. Those hints, when we process them and discover that if fully explored, can give vent to something that will change the needle in terms of delivering dividends of democracy, you will be invited by the appropriate ministry, department, and agency. Like Mrs. Oji said, it's not necessarily going to be executed by the Ministry of Information or Ministry of Economic Planning. No, you have ministries, departments, and agencies. So the information, the suggestion, the prescription you are bringing in will be tailored to the appropriate governmental agency or authority that will deal with it. What we call process holders. Whatever you are bringing in certainly belongs to a particular process, and the head of the ministry, department or agency that is involved will be contacted real time to take up your recommendation. If there is merit in it, why not? It has to be implemented with your support even. And whoever is hearing our voice can understand that this is a very bright and unique opportunity for everyone to be part of governance in Anambra State. It's a unique opportunity that Governor Soludo has offered through the solution lens. So ndị be anyị ka nsụtụ ya n'Igbo obere. Ife anyị na-ekwu ife abụ na solution lens bụ ịlụ Governor Soludo tụta ka anyị ga-enwe ike inye ndị Anambra, onye ọbụla obodo so ndị Anambra sef, onye ọbụla dị interested n'ife na-eme na Anambra, opportunity ka ọ bịa na that platform. Iru na the platform ifu ife ndị dị ebe anwa already. Onwe things adịrị ya, ikwue na ife ndị a adịrị ya na fa dị mkpa etinye. Onwe itu esi eme ife, maọbụ ụzọ ka a na-alụ, maọbụ akwụkwọ, maọbụ ụlọọgwụ, anything at all, I believe no way to or makalia. This is the opportunity for you. You without the information, be sure that we are going to use it. We are an open book. We are running an open government. That is the leadership philosophy of Professor Chukwuma Soludo. Open governance, open government. Make a maximum use of the opportunity.
Okay, before we come back to Mrs. Oji, another thing I would like to know is, I solution lens, and we're going to hit the care Kimwe, Enquiries, and Anambra states.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure, because if we met one on ground, there wouldn't be any need to start another one. I'm not really sure. What you have before now is just the basic government website, the Ministry of Information website. There are many ministries, departments, and agencies who work on websites. There are many of them. I know at least up to 20 where their own independent websites. But this one is the overall platform where you bring what you find in all these ministries, departments, and agencies' websites. You bring them together, the essential components of those. Bring them to that dashboard. In other words, it means that it will serve even as an archiver over time. Even when Soludo's government is long gone, you can still go back to the data, to the history, to find what was done, how it was done, and so on and so forth. Government is a continuum. So it's unique in that sense. No need bukota in the government in on one-stop platform, one-stop shop. That is where you get everything. Rather than move from Ministry of Information to internal revenue to youth and sports and so on. No, you don't need to move from place to place, from ministry, department, and agency to another. Come to solution lens. you will find all these ministries, departments, and agencies there. You know, let me give you an insight into how the place will run or is running. The planning officers of the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning and the information officers of the ministries of the Ministry of Information are the ones generating much of this data and uploading, right? So, you know, because if you come to Ministry of Information, for example, I have at least one information officer in every ministry, department, and agency. Their duty is to process, gather information on the activities of the ministry, department, or agency, and send it to the ministry for processing as news. That is what we eventually upload, both to the ministry's website and the solution lens. So whatever you want to know about all the ministries, departments, and agencies ought to be found in the solution lens. It's a one-stop platform. You don't need to move around. And what you also want to see, if you don't see it there, you raise query. You raise a query, and it will be answered by providing information or answers to the questions you raised. That is what this is all about. Simplified.
Okay. All right. Just before we open up the phone lines and get contribution from the listening public, one of the problems we usually have about projects, at least in this part of the world, is the problem of sustainability. You break it down in local language.
Okay.
Yes, every project, dika solution lens now. Or macham monyo buna, equate chame accept. Ibiazie ememe. The problem of sustainability will so what are the plans with regards to sustainability of this solution lens?
Thank you for that very important question. This solution lens, a lot of thought was actually put into this project. And like the commissioner mentioned, the planning officers in every MDA and the information officers in all MDAs are the ones driving this process. And they were trained and retrained before the launch of this process on how to manage data privacy, communication. They were properly trained. And then again, this solution lens is embedded in Ministry of Information. There are officers, civil servants that are taking ownership of this project. Like the commissioner mentioned, it's the planning officers and the information officers that generate this information. So the process is running seamlessly on its own. So we keep training and retraining the officers to ensure that this project kicks off properly and is sustained. So we have structure, we have plans, the implementation plan and everything are running and they are all in place.
Okay. Now, the question I have is, based on what you said, it's important to know that you're saying solution lens. Nobora, it's not something for Sosondi being a township. It had nothing on a village. Again, one access to it.
Of course, nothing on a village gain access to it, and they were put into consideration when on build this platform. For example, if you click the platform, it's lens at anambrastate.gov.ng. If you click, you will see a helpline, a toll-free line 5111. So you can call that number free of charge, and you can do SMS. If you don't have internet-enabled phone, you can do SMS, and you will get feedback. And then again, when I spoke earlier, I talked about the other forums we have for both market women, everybody, people with disabilities. Those forums are still in place. So if you're unable to access the solution lens, we still have other ways that you can actually contribute to what the government is doing in citizens' engagement.
All right, so beyond complaints or beyond saying what is, could the solution lens also entertain questions as well?
Of course, Solution Lens entertains questions. If you have any question, and it also tracks response to those questions, because one is to ask questions, but the response is in a timely manner. How is this questions responded to? They are all put into the system, so you can track them and you can call them up. For every question there is an ID number. You can call them up later if you're not satisfied. There are stages to these to the complaints, so they are all in place in the platform.
Okay. All right, this is still Ask the Commissioner right here on ABS 88.5 FM, and today our focus, our spotlight is on Solution Lens, a one-stop platform for inquiries on Soludo's government, an opportunity for you to call in and share your thoughts with regards to what we are discussing today, a new idea, a new innovation by the government, and how you can, utilize it for accountability's sake. After all, the government is for the people as well. But before we open up the phone lines, we have someone else with us in the studio, Chief Amoroyenego. He calls himself Otimbu Soludo. Would like to get his input. I got Choka. I will take your own input with regards to IHA and Yokumakebu Solution Lens.
Ya anyị abịakwakwa ka anyị si abịa o nketa dị n'ịbụ nchọkọ chọkọlọ kwuru n'ite ofe ka anyị na-akọwa maka ya. Ọ gịnị ka ọ pụtara? Ibe akwụkwọ na-atọ ite siri n'ọkụ. Nke mbụ, nwere budget, nwee economic planning, Ministry of Information, Soludo Lent platform ka na-ekwu okwu ya na gbakọ nzukọ akụ na ụkwa ga-abụrịrị na agbụrụ gada ụmụnne m unu anụ ga-eyi ma ọ nọ n'oru ma ọ nọ n'Igbo ma ọ pụrụ mba. Onye nụ maka Solution Lent ka ọ ghọta ife a na-ekwu. Ịmara ife ị na-emekarịsị, ịmara lo ị na-atụkarịsị, ịmara mbọ ị na-agbakarị. Anambra steeti ga-eji na-aga n'iru. Biko gbaa mbọ tinye onwe gị na Solution Lent. The platform adịgo, ọ dịgo bụ na ọdịgo. A na-ezi ozie obodo dị iche iche unu mara oyi. Mgbe nka nji akọwara ya unu nwantịntị, o yibere think home philosophy a na-ekwu kemgbe gboo. Anyị ezugo bụ na anyị ezugo. Ife jiri mmalụ Soludo bụ gịnị? Solution. Soludo solution na-aga n'iru n'ụzọ dị iche iche. Ndị ọrụ oyibo, ndị ọrụ aka, ndị na-eme biznes, ndị kpala ego na tabani ka anyị dozie Anambra steeti ka ọ dị mma ụmụnne m. Nyagazie n'ọfọ.
Okay.
My brother.
I can maka Solution Lens as a one-stop platform for inquiries on Soludo's government. Yamabo Ihani Pumaketa and I asked the commissioner, and I joined Cheterenyo Bana, he man a Biragin Life na Facebook. He got a Facebook, he joined Anambra Broadcasting Service. Na Facebook, he so near I Mobokwano, he got work a frequency in the way na studio. Bona 0808 487 2166. 0808 487 2166. Mobokwano 0706 538 1320. 0706 538 1320. Ihabo akara ekwentị iji ga-enweta maọbụ izitozi na Facebook bụ Anambra Broadcasting Service. Anyị na-agakwa n'iru na-atụ anya ajụjụ maka ịma na ihe a bụ ihe ọfụrụ emepụtara. Ọ bụrụ na o nwere ajụjụ ejụrụ gbasara etu esi ga-eyuzi ya ma etu gị nwa na onwe gị nọkwa na ọ bụrụ na ị nọ n'ime obodo, ị na-asị ndị nọkwa n'ime obodo ha ga-enwekwa access to ihe a na-ekwu bụ Solution Lens. Well, the experts are here to answer all your questions. Ọ bụrụ na ịkpọ maka ọbụrụkwa emecha ask the commissioner, ịkpọkwa mụwa amakwa ihe ọbụla ha na-akọ maka Solution Lens nke mmanwụ nke m na-ekwu now, so it will be better for you to call and ask your questions. Well, we forge ahead as we wait for reactions and contributions from the listening public. Well, we'll also tell you that this program allows both the use of English and Igbo language. And anyị na-akọkwa ụnụ nwa ndị anyị na-ajụ ajụjụ ga na-agbarikwara anyị ya n'Igbo maka na ọ bụrụ sọ sụpịrị ka anyị ga na-asụ ebe a. Exactly. Hello.
No, good afternoon.
No, ka onye na-ekwu ka ebe isi akpọ. Ka afa gị? Onye?
Chinedu.
Okay, Chinedu, gaa n'iru. We can hear you.
Okay. Actually, can Honorable Commissioner for Information, Law.
Dalu, my brother.
This policy, because this platform now can be now transmit. Maybe I see the noise the government not the job, and that's one number. So I'm not the policy. Now, even I'm a hope. Ọbụrụ ọgabụnaya dịka normal Nigeria project of policy ọ ga-abụ ewepụta ebido 5 years otu emechaa ọma na-alụ ọrụ efficiently efulia so because ọbụ nke abụghị izi nke abụ nwụọda so many policy otu ewepụtasigo mana at the end of the day ọ ga-abụ ya ife ndị eji pictures or the if they need to proceed, a man, if down with the appropriate response to that thing. So now, always the report to showing you because every sample precisely the stalker. Now, this is the audible music, Anambra University. If a name, third time, and my report different years. And I'm about the report, in the chair. Nothing happened. Just like what you said, some Nigeria policies and citizens. So,
what's the
because only group of boys, now the mad Israeli together with armed robbers have been attacked. My sister-in-law in our shop each year goes there. And 3 days ago now, silent robbery. Yeah, in the man like that, Euro shop. I don't know which name they are. Around 100,000 naira. They break his shop on them mad. In fact, she needs by 7 o'clock. If you do not pack up, I not engage. In fact, I need an arrow on this dog. Junior open there. At least I get now can report it. If I not be feeling university premises, now that you is talker. And I rob indiscriminately. And that's what we make different make third time more report and it. That they make no even so people commissioner law make for people. Multi game that is in the way we don't follow because this is only the stuff I well. So I'll fetch it.
Dalu one name.
Thank you very much.
Because my like Kamuna go back to Nkata after this program.
Someone else is here. Hello.
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 Hello. All right. Do well to call us back. Once more, remember the numbers to call are 0706 538 1320. 0706 538 1320. Hello. Good afternoon. Hello. Okay, all right. We still expect reactions from the listening public. I like to believe that this kind of complaint this person made is what Solution Lens is all
Yes, we need to process it further.
Okay.
That is why I asked to discuss with him further after this program. It's a very serious information they brought.
Yes.
We need to work on it.
True. Okay.
That nonsense must stop.
It must.
Yes.
It must.
It has to stop.
Exactly.
Kudo Wecha.
Of course, as it should be. All right, call 0808-487-2166, 0808-487-2166. Hello.
Hello.
Who's your PK? Can you
Yeah, I don't know if you because I don't get to do that now, Martha.
It was a
I name it, you go with me. But no show. I will know soccer with me and Mero. Give me a never.
You didn't tell us your name. You did not tell us where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Walker.
Gafage.
I'm moving to you. I'm a call from Walker.
Okay, so
I don't know Manata. Edendi. I put a million India Parliament to India. And what going now? I shall go soccer away.
okay.
Because I never the choose of governor now. Because put my phone again, eh?
Okay.
What the war 8 plus. A blue million and main road or drama.
Okay. All right.
Another important information.
So
Oh.
social lens has started working indirectly over here because we are air right now. Okay. All right. So now another thing is some persons might want to pass on information. Just hold that thought. Hello.
Hello?
Kafa, you gave me sabo. Timothy, gave me sabo. Okay, go ahead.
I'm a good commissioner. I'm a lecturer.
Afternoon, my brother.
I don't know how many. I'm a a woman raised in Mogaraga, but it's a Fonde Nana Childo. They can therefore, the Nana knows I'm a condemned Mabiego. They can also be here. They can not only why had the teacher. So I want to case not that you have, and I can't do what about that time, woman. If we run the motor for station as a license to have a woman under a week. Some of them want to make it under a month. But what I mean, though, I thought I had a on the putting her on. I came a good on more. If I had a good one, roundabout, almost around the back, push motor view. That time, how would you what had done? What is that? Like move work, I had a way with the say, and say, go into. Because driver people based on it, and that's what we're going on to, yeah, what would you on that path or whatever. But I people are no women, most of them are saying, I want to talk to them about 2 months and Lagos. I'm having a couple of my national living in there.
All right.
And they have it, and how can I make a road back?
Okay.
So now look at him at the touch, Jimmy.
All right.
Dalo.
That's
We will work on it.
has been taken note of. Okay. All right. So what I wanted to ask Oji Obachukwu was, you know, sometimes people want to send in information, but they want to remain anonymous. Does the solution lens guarantee anonymity of sources?
Precisely, it does. Solution lens, it gives you that option. Do you want to say your name? Do you want to make submissions anonymously? Of course,
Wow,
it's there.
interesting.
Yes.
Wow, that's nice. I think people covered all the ground.
No, generally, in line with what Ogo has said, you see, it's not just the solution lens. Government feedback mechanism provides expressly for confidentiality. What we do with our call center, you know, which again is aligned with the solution lens. Our call center 5311. All the calls you make there are received, treated, and processed with utmost confidentiality. I just want to reassure our people. Information about any lie, malona, I need to treat it with care. Because I'm an oblona, if I security basal, information basal security. I want the mad on your lie, you know, you may be lawyer with it. So I'm at the value of confidentiality. Please keep supplying the information. It's helping the operation Udoga Ache, the Aguna Chamber is helping them a lot. In Ayanane, for Anambra is coming down. Security is on the rise, total security. You know, even 5 years ago, Anambra was adjudged the safest state in Nigeria. We lost it. Now we are about to reclaim it. That status. Yeah, information no na so nife IG abam odembo onwa. We tap on the information. If you see something, say something, call 5111. And always you go 5 million naira. If we need go in Amari for na lo. Yeah. Buy ama. Okay, say Solution lens. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I want to ask, did you also make provisions for how traditional rulers, civil society groups, and youth groups could also partner with your team to advocate the use of solutionless, especially among their people and in the community and rural areas?
The non-state actors are our main partners. We engage them during this process. They made inputs into the platform. So this is their platform. They are already in the rural areas speaking to their people, their representatives about this platform. They were even saying that this is what civil society clamor for in other states, but they didn't need to even speak on it here in Anambra, and Governor Soludo did it for the Anambra. So they are our partners. Right from inception, we've been working with them. The launch, they are all part of it. Both the ASATU, the traditional rulers, the organized private sectors, they are all parts of this process. They were part of this process, and they are also our partners. You know, open government partnership is about bringing state actors and non-state actors in one table to make decisions for the government. So we are all partners in progress.
Okay. I know when you were speaking earlier, you mentioned something about persons living with disabilities. So this solution lens, there are also provisions for this category of persons as well.
Of course, there are provisions for this category
PWDs.
of PWDs. Yes, there's a provision for them. They were part of the engagement. We engaged them during that process. We've been engaging them, yes, so they are part of it. So this makes it easy for them. For example, if you're able to come out and make any input, you'll be able to use this. And then for the ones that can't see, they use the toll-free lines to tell us their challenges. So they are part of this process.
Well, looks like you guys covered every ground, all there is to cover.
Yeah, basically, Solution Lens is a rare opportunity for every Anambra to be part of building this livable and prosperous mega smart city. So Governor Soludo understands and appreciates the ingenuity of Anambra. That's why he invites Anambra to, one, you'll be able to make input into what the government is doing. You can engage the government if you have ideas or better ways you think government can implement programs and projects. This is an opportunity to give us that idea, to co-create, to engage, not just be an observer, but be part of making this change, be part of this change happening in Anambra State, be part of the team building the livable and prosperous mega smart city. So this is what Solution Lens is about.
Okay. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and location.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, my brother.
You're welcome.
No.
Private number. Private number.
Dialogue, my brother.
Okay, all right. So somebody asked a question. Someone sent me a question, said I should ask you. Okay, so the person is saying, can users rate or review the responsiveness of various government MDAs through the Solution Lens? And can they also see when the governments respond? Can they also get that information?
Yes, that's an exciting question. That was actually considered. You know, when I mentioned, I said something, the responses, as long as you didn't ask your question anonymously, your response will also be transparent. It will be open. Everybody will see it. The timeliness, we're also particular about the timeliness. The relevant MD is expected to respond. We have our time. How do I put it now? It must be timely. Every submission must be timely. So we put that into consideration. So everybody will see it. And also at the back end, the bosses are also looking at the end of the month. We also they look at the back end. How have we fared? Are there loopholes? How do we ensure that this platform is active? How do we ensure that the Anambra gets value for this platform? So there are back end views, monitoring and evaluation to ensure that if anyone is meant to respond to a complaint, the person actually responds when they should and how they should. So there are back end views to it.
Okay, somebody also has a question for the commissioner, but I will pick this call first. Hello.
Doc, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Darling, everybody in our studio.
No, okay. Okay, you're welcome, Mze.
Yeah, commissioner on now, but governor.
Dalusa.
Can be like this. First of all, commissioner Emmanuel Bolivani and Nala Governor, Manankel, Otegwe. Every 3 months, the Lord Chicha Anambra. So Bolonato Cobiale and the Bolonato Obiale on the Tambolo, no from the horse's mouth. Direct, I like it to give them a Kalwago days in August. Then, we mentioned on child drop like land there on the road. No, you were now known on the mother. Now, I might be actually. Now, large government on Nigeria, I do one day on actually, you were actually before. For example, I as in August, I will governor Bobby studio. I can never win. That's what I'm going the economic benefit this Equilobia tour. Government also, right? Like a born from Ifite. Let me tell you the simple truth. They are animal kidnapping every day. So come on now, insecurity now. Mono until a key figure before about newspaper. Insecurity, Naya, go, Naya. Here I need you, we will get you for a full of government house, a full of city, a full of a tower. So that you can like get an so now no issues and the mother. Okay.
Yeah.
Dalu.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. Economic benefit of the Equilobia Tower. First, the bigger picture. I got a good. Open nature on Anambra, an entertainment center, a tourism center, and Africa, Dubai, Taiwan, Silicon Valley. If this is our goal and our dream, I need many more of Equilobia Towers. People visit places because of specific sites. Only where you can the new mini city, Anambra government house. If you get to the place, you see that it has become a tourist center. So many things. From the road, from the Emeka Anyoko Boulevard to there is another tower there. Maybe you haven't, so it's not only a Equilobia Tower, there is one now. And that tower, because we answer the light of the nation. Being the light of the nation, we have built a symbolic tower called the Light of the Nation Tower, just before the entrance of the government house. And right at the gate of the Anambra State Government House, you have our heroes past monument, where you have about 5 to 7 iconic leaders of Anambra State extraction. Their effigies are mounted there around the structure that is the monument. Men like Zeke, Ojukwu, Chinua Achebe, Margaret Ekpo, Kenneth Dike. These are some of the iconic leaders of Anambra extraction that you have there. They serve as a symbolic reminder. So it's not the tower is not just there as a monument. It is a symbolic presence indicating where Anambra is headed. The overall aim, if you listen to Ogo, she repeatedly talked about making Anambra into one smart mega city. It doesn't come without some of these monuments. In fact, the solid foundations are being laid. But let me mention this to us. Our goal, Soludo's a goal, Solution Government's a goal as a government is to make Anambra a destination. You must put in place those things that will make people decide to visit Anambra State. If those things are not here, Anambra will remain a departure lounge as it is at the moment. So it's a matter of time, and I would like to engage you further beyond this program, so that I can help you to appreciate fully the vision of Soludo, where he is taking Anambra, physically, psychologically, and otherwise. In fact, Soludo has a site at the moment set on the recreation of a new Anambra, because I will see all these things. Is it for who? I went proper and the Anambra to occupy it. What that means is that very soon, the Minister of Information, on behalf of the government, will be embarking on very comprehensive attitude and behavior modification programs to recreate, regenerate our people. So it is not only physical symbolism, we are also going to delve deeply into behavior modification. Can you look? This is a story for another day.
Yes, and yes.
Separately.
Yes,
huh?
yes,
today, I palm a solution.
I have much ago already. And,
are we done already?
Yes, we are done. Yes.
I
have much ago. Before we go, just 30 seconds. Anything you have to say to Indiana Anambra concerning solution lens? Just 30 seconds. Let's go.
Your last line.
Indiana Anambra, Biko, Governor Soludo enyega solution lens. OCI, engage me, ask me questions, interrogate what I am doing. You will get feedback. This is a rare opportunity. Please, let us leverage this platform. Let us engage the government. Let us scrutinize the government. It's our government. This is democracy taking a notch further. So this is an opportunity for you to own Anambra State, own the government. It is yours. Be part of what the Mr. Solution is doing in Anambra State. Thank you very much.
All right, so I'd like to thank you, Ogochukwu Oji, SSA to the Governor on Budgets and Economic Planning. She is sitting for the Honorable Commissioner for Budget Partners and Economic Planning, Mrs. Chiamaka Nake. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you.
All right, we also want to thank our very own Commissioner, High Chief Dr. Lome IV, Commissioner for Information. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program.
Yeah, thank you. I talked about if you see something, say something, call 5111, and even make as much as ₦1 million if the intel given to us is very useful. There is one more thing I want to say. Please, if you see our operatives, our law enforcers, all our agencies that are into enforcement, any of them is behaving, going outside code of conduct, normal conduct, what you consider abnormal, please reach out to the government. Reach out to my office, the Ministry of Information, and we will have it dealt with. Okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, just to remind you that the program Ask the Commissioner makes a return next week, Thursday at this time. We also like to thank Chief Amronyenego for also joining the program today.
Yeah.